morning, everyone. Welcome to Global Truth Center's Sunday celebration of love. And as the video was playing, and it showed this month's theme is practicing the presence, and the woman's out with her hands there, and the snow's falling. I went, oh, perfect for the last day of practicing the presence. Since if you're in Ontario, you woke up to snow this morning. And yet it is still spring underneath all that snow. So, wherever you are in the world, thank you for joining in. And yes, our theme for this month, One More Sunday, is practicing the presence. Our vision statement is, and you can say it along with me, love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. And we join in community to embrace this feeling that each of us matter. We matter to ourselves, we matter to one another. We have a shared faith that there is this power for good in the universe. And we are this power, this infinite creative energy. And therefore, we can use this energy, both individually and collectively, to recognize we're part of something greater. We are, and we can create our lives any way we choose. So, thanks again for tuning in. Happy to have you here this Sunday. And today with us is Aidan Farrell, and Hester Ostry is our practitioner today. And since it is such a beautiful spring morning, although it's sunny, I'm going to invite Aidan in for our opening song. Hello, Aidan, and welcome
Hi,
back.
thank you.
Take it away.
All right, thank you. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and it looks like it's climbing clear up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning! Oh, what a beautiful day! I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the cattle are standing like statues. All the cattle are standing like statues. The breeze is so busy, it don't miss a tree. And an old weeping willow is laughing at me. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything is going my way. All the sounds of the earth are like music. All the sounds of the earth are like music. The breeze is so busy, it don't miss a tree. And an old weeping willow is laughing at me. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling.
Oh, that was great, Aiden. That was so wonderful. What a great way to start the Sunday morning. Thank you so much. Oh, it's so funny. We were talking backstage about spring, and I've been in the spring cleaning mode this week. And Friday night, I don't know, I had a lot of energy, and I was cleaning out closets and drawers. And yesterday, I went to the nursery and I bought pansies. I bought the hydrangeas, and the person there said, "Don't put them out until Wednesday. It's going to be too cold for them." And it's a really good thing I listened, since we woke up to this beautiful snowy morning. And whatever the weather is, we can still find the beauty there for sure. And this is what we come together as a community for, is to understand that the world of form, there is beauty in every form if we're willing to find it. And to understand also that our physical world is a reflection of our consciousness. The ultimate reality. The ultimate reality is one of love, joy, peace, abundance, beauty, and harmony that each one of us can use and embody and live from. So, whatever we choose to think, whatever we choose to be, will determine the world we will see. And so, just think about where you're focusing your mind, because our tendency of thought held in mind creates outward form in new creations. And if we live as we have lived in the past, then the future will simply be more of the same. And I don't think any of us want the past to be our future. I think that coming through this and bursting into spring, it's like, what is new? What is possible? And how can we each embody the qualities needed to have peace in the world? And that is what we stand for. We stand for peace. We stand for the right of every being on this earth plane to experience safety and security, abundance, freedom, and joy. We stand for the knowing that each one of us is the incarnation of spirit in our own unique individual expression. And we stand for the unity of all life, and that the highest God, the most inner God, is one God. We stand for the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. And so today I invite you to open your heart, to a greater, a greater level of understanding that what we stand for in these teachings, the new thought, science of mind teachings, will play a part in bringing peace and harmony to the world. And for a moment, I invite you to place your hands over that big, beautiful heart space of yours, and to breathe in, and on the exhale, feel your heart opening, softening. And in your mind, bless all those who are suffering, all those who have suffered. Send your blessings out to the entire world. And bless the people who have inflicted suffering. Yes, we must bless those people and send our blessings to those people who have or are at this time inflicting suffering. For they too are the incarnation of the one Spirit, one God. And bless. Bless all those, including ourselves, who witness suffering. Send your blessings of love, light, peace, harmony, grace, abundance out into the world. Breathing into your heart space and exhaling all that beautiful energy, recognizing that each one of us is participating in a consciousness of blessing. For as we accept our light that is within us, the infinite creative power of infinite love, we will experience the gifts that emerge from it. And as we open our hearts, we create momentous changes. As we bless, we create momentous changes in our lives and in the lives of those around us and in the world. So I invite you to consider the possibility that there is a way for us to consciously think, be, and act as love, as light, as peace, in harmony with ourselves and others. Open your mind to the possibilities. Open your heart to the possibilities. It'll all start to flow through you, and you will know. And with that, I'm going to bring Aiden and Hester in for our invocation song and affirmative prayer.
You're so easy to love. You're so easy to care for. Know that you'll never have a thing to prove. I already love you. It's an honor to see you. A blessing to behold. stars will always shine above. You're so easy to love.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here this morning as lead practitioner. I invite you to relax and close your eyes if you wish as I proceed in prayer. As I sit in my safe and sacred place, practicing the presence, I know right here and now that I am a divine spirit placed in an individualized body or form. The Spirit of God expresses itself through me as me in all experiences and situations that sums up my entire life. It embodies me with all its qualities: love, peace, abundance, prosperity, health, and compassion. I open my heart and mind with unconditional acceptance to it all because I know it is my God given birthright. I choose to use all these qualities to serve me to my highest good. As I know and believe this truth for myself, I know it is the same for each individualized spirit, reflecting back to me as one. Spring is now transforming our landscape with its inner beauty and generosity, preparing seeds of flowers, grass, plants, and trees to come alive in their beauty. Buried deep within their coding, they know how to overcome all the obstacles that come their way during the winter deep freeze. I marvel at their innate ability to transform, rejuvenate, and prosper abundantly. I recognize my own natural coding as I feel the warm glow of courage, love, and peace that is centered at the core of my being, supporting and caring for me all areas of my life. I lean into my natural qualities as they are also the center of all creation. Right now, at this moment, I am profoundly grateful for recognizing the one intelligent mind that is the integral source of my life, constantly expressing and creating through me as me, every moment in every way, as I walk through the mystifying and yet enlightening movement of life. I release my word as law, knowing in this present moment I am divine energy. My life is unfolding in divine perfect order. And, and right now, I invite you to please join me in saying, and so it is. Namaste.
I know the world can make you forget sometimes, To love.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Esther, you're going to stay on with me.
Yes,
How are
I
you?
am good, very good this morning.
Good. How has practicing the presence been an influence in your life over this last month?
Wow, it's been a great influence. It has allowed me to discover things about myself, and and it enlightened me into a lot of things in my past, and
Mm,
and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the opportunity that I had this month to practice the presence. You know, a couple of days ago, I have a little story to tell.
yes.
A couple of days ago, I was doing some kind of a form of meditation. I was just thinking, and then all of a sudden, I remembered something that happened a while back. I have a grandson named Kai,
Mm,
and I remember he's now 12, but at the time this happened, he was about 5, 6 years old. He came from school one evening, and I caught him jumping on the couch, running, jumping and jumping. So of course, I chastised him and said, Kai, please stop. And he said, okay, grandma. And next thing you know, as soon as I turned my back, hey, he was jumping again. Now that was a little bit out of character for him, because usually he would give you at least an hour to, re- to keep that in mind. But I was shocked to see that he went back jumping up and down. So I said to him, Kai, why are you doing this? Then he looked at me and said, Grandma, my teacher told me that God is inside of me and I don't want him there. I want him out. So, so when he said that, I was like shocked. That's not what I expected to hear at all. He wanted God to be outside himself. He did not want, he was not having
mm,
any of this. So anyway, I sat down, and at that time I was really not into spirituality or anything. So I just said to him, look, Ekai, like, as far as I know, God is everywhere, and he's within you, he's everywhere, and that's the way it is. So, and we spoke about it, and I told his parents, and I guess they must have done something right, because he never came up with that again. So during my meditative state, I was wondering, why am I remembering this right now?
mm,
What is in it? I have an inquisitive mind. What is going on? Why am I thinking of that at this particular time? So I went back into my own childhood, and I found out, yes, I remembered when my parents telling me at 4 weeks I was baptized, and in other words, they perform a baptismal thing so that they could eradicate the original sin that I was born with, which which is fine. I okay, but throughout, of course, I did not remember that. But by the time I was 8, it became the part of my life. Like, God is everywhere, and God sees even our deepest thoughts and all those things. And just like Kai, I really did not like that. I did not
mm,
like to know that there was somebody who was judging me at all times. That made me very uncomfortable. But back then, you could not say those things to the adults around you. They would think that you're being, rude or inquisitive or whatnot. So I grew up with this feeling of fear of God. And I remember that so much because, as I said, it was very much part of our life. that God will punish you and God this, and So of course, growing up with this in my mind, by the time I became a teenager, I was not having anything to do with God either. Like, is that all you can do? Sit down there and judge me? So I think I gave poor God a lot of things for him to write about by the time I became a teenager. So anyway, and after a while, when you pass teenagehood, all you think about is your own survival, and you don't
Mhm.
go back to find out about God. I moved away. I did, although that fear still held me in the position where I believed that there was a God, but I did not know to what extent, and I did not. And here I am in my elderly years, came back again, and but in the most profound way that I have made peace. There's no fear in who God is. I found out that God is within me and I am within God, and it's so much easier to be able to accept God on that, conscious level.
Mhm.
So here I am this morning, Reverend Helen, and I feel totally at peace and just
Aw.
enjoying the beauty of life right now.
I love it. I love it. And I love now you can go back and you can jump for joy that you are God.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But you know what? Kai is still going to that same school, and he's still, But you know what? He never talk about anything. He have never said one word about the religious school that he's going to. But one thing I know, he refuses to go to church. That's all.
Well, that says a lot right there.
It's just one of those things, for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, he's on his own journey, as were you,
Exact. Thank
are
you so
you
much for
still
saying
are.
that. That's exact. I don't interfere
Yeah,
because I know we all have to go through that journey to find what
yeah,
I found. I just found out. Hopefully,
yeah.
it won't take him that long.
I wonder if he remembers that time.
I don't know. I'll remind him. I haven't
Yeah.
spoken to him about that, but I will. We used to laugh about it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, yeah. We used to tease him about it at one point,
Oh.
but I think we stopped doing that for a while. Yeah.
That's great. And to be able to be present with all that you are.
Yes.
Beautiful, Hester. Thank
Yes.
you.
You're welcome.
Would you like to take us through the affirmation? Look, it's
Yeah.
it's like a perfect match to the weather as I look out the window.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Today is a gift. I accept this day with my full presence and undivided attention.
Mm.
And I'll repeat it and you can say it with me. Today is a gift. I accept this day with my full presence and undivided attention. Thank you.
And so it is. Thank you, Hester. You have the best stories ever. You told a great story on Wednesday night in class as well,
I,
and another story before service. Like you
oh,
are a
yeah.
wonderful storyteller.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm going to bring Aiden on for our feature song, which goes so well with our theme, and it is an Aiden Farrell original again. Yay!
Thank you, Helen. I was pondering about the song and I wrote it right when shutdown happened 2 years ago. Wow, what is time? But I remember writing it because right when it shut down, everyone was contending with this. What do I do? I have to just be at home? I have to just be? What is that? And I wrote this song kind of thinking about that. So it feels a full circle to be playing it 2 years later when things are kind of opening up now. Okay. You've been running all your life. Try to ignore the pain you feel inside. I know you're tired, I can see it in your eyes. second. Tell me really, where do you gotta be? Where do you gotta be? Why don't you just be? You've been running all your days, trying to find some kind of better way. I know you're weary and tired of the game, left empty-handed with no cards to play. But you wanna know where the stillness lies, tuned completely to the noise, and the silence will arise. I dare you to try. I dare you to try and just slow down for a minute. Baby, feel the earth move under your feet. Slow down for a second. Tell me really, where do you gotta be? Where do you gotta be? Why don't you just be? You're paralyzed, afraid to heed the call, but the river has to run, and she's been breaking down your walls. Surrender to it all. Why don't you just be? Why don't you just be? Why don't you just be? Why don't you just be?
Beautiful, Aiden. Thank you. When Aiden was singing the lyrics, why don't you just bring yourself to, no, I'm saying that, but to feel your feet on the earth and feel the earth move. And I'm thinking, bring yourself to where your feet are so you can feel the earth move, and allow your heart to open so you can feel the energy around you. Allow your mind to expand, to receive a greater knowing in this moment. And this is, this is what we talk about in terms of practicing the presence, is to be fully engaged, body, heart, and mind in each moment. So my talk today is called Upleveling from Love. And the very moment that any kind of form becomes necessity in our experience, we tend to grab onto it, and we place our dependence, our happiness, and our joy on that thing, on that thing. And okay, I will be the first to say, Yes, to those hydrangeas. Ah, light my spirit. Yes. But here's what I also know is that the infinite, invisible essence within me was the part of me that said yes to cleaning out my closets, to creating space, expansion, and a place to bring in more beauty, more beauty, more expression of who I am in my life. And um, Joel Goldsmith, in Practicing the Present, says the very moment that any form becomes a necessity in our experience, and we're placing our dependence, our happiness, and our joy on that instead of the infinite invisible, which is the cause of form, we are idealators. Now, do you know what an idealator is? I had to look it up. I also had to listen to how do you really pronounce that? So an idealator is a person who admires intensely and often blindly that which is usually not a subject of worship. So basically what he's saying is we give our Goldsmith is saying is that we give our power away to forms, whether it's people, things, or ideas, versus turning inward to who we are and placing our attention on the infinite, the creative source of all life. And that in understanding that anything we create doesn't come from our brain, it comes from consciousness, which is infinite spirit. So it takes practice to let go of the external, which doesn't mean you can't enjoy the world of form, because God knows I do. I know as God that I do. And so do other people in my life. But it means letting go of attachment and placing all my happiness on what I perceive my experience to be. So again, it's allowing the flow of the divine to say to us, here, this is what you want to create, this is what you want to do, this is going to expand you into a greater understanding and knowing of who you are. And how many of us circle around and around in our minds in a never ending internal conversation of what ifs and uncertainties, driving ourselves into fear, into an uncertainty and indecision. Living in the present, blessing everything, takes us out of that loop and changes everything. Everything. And this is, I'm hearing stories from people as they're beginning to understand the power of blessing everything from class, and just like, oh my God, my mind is blown. My world is opened up. And I, most importantly, feel, feel differently. So instead of being in contraction, it's feeling the expansion and the possibilities of what life has to offer. And we find our greatest healing in the power to love, which then allows us to up level our experience, our consciousness, to joy, to peace, to bliss, which is this vibrational beingness towards enlightenment. And of course, we do this for the rest of our lives. It's almost as if we come into this world and test ourselves in ways that are unthinkable. And yet we keep doing it. We test ourselves. We put ourselves in situations where we, feel hurt or betrayed. We close off, we shut down, we go into fear. And we don't need to be doing that. That's old stuff. We don't need to be surviving anymore. We need to, step out into spring and move beyond what we've been living in for the last couple of years and thrive, fully thrive. Because did you know? Did you know that most of us are going to live longer than we anticipate? I underwent 3 tests to determine how long I would live, and 2 of the tests determined that I would live to 98. One determined I would live to 102, but I was bumped down to 99 because of the way I answered one question. Interestingly enough, none of these questionnaires had questions around something that will be the ultimate determinant. Determinant? Is that a word? Determinant? Will ultimately determine how long we live. I'll say it that way. And that is the force, the spiritual force that feeds our bodies. All of these questionnaires, they were all based on the equation for genetics, diet, exercise, medical history, and habits. Yet it is the spiritual force that feeds our bodies. And that is actually going to determine ultimately how long we live, our connection to that infinite consciousness. In the ancient mode of prayer, Greg Braden talks about how the ancients left us instructions for how we may nourish our vital force upon which all of our life depends upon. And what it is all about is that we must feel. We must feel to love. And we must feel to love in order to make sense of our crazy journey of hurts and pains and trials and tribulations, but also to then, as we open up and we feel to love, we also then uplevel ourselves into joy, peace, bliss, harmony. So I figure, since I'm already going to live until I'm 98, according to my diet, my exercise habits, my other habits or non habits, and my genetics, that with this deep spiritual connection as well, oh man, I could be living up into my hundreds. And that was not what I was originally planning for. But I know one thing for sure. If I'm going to live another 30, 40 years, I plan on having more healthy, vibrant, creative days than days where I don't feel well or I'm sick. Because if I'm not healthy, then what the heck's the point? I'm not going to be enjoying my life, and I have no intentions of not enjoying my life. Healthy, harmonious living is all a matter of consciousness first. And from all the research I've been doing for my Inner Power Aging book, for my thesis, consciousness is number one. Then diet, plant-based diet, whatever that looks like for you. And exercise every day. Community is another big factor. Being of service and not buying into the old paradigms around aging. So, if we have the consciousness of living not only as love, yet as love only, then we can up level into joy, harmony, peace, and bliss. What we want to do is, instead of changing the outside circumstances, is change our consciousness first. Because as our consciousness of love only, if I'm loving my body, then yes, I'm going to take care of my body. If I am loving others, I'm going to want to be with others and be in community and share. If I love myself so much that I'm willing to go through all my closets and create more space and organize and do whatever I did on Friday night in a flurry and bring in more beauty into my life. That all starts from consciousness. And in order to make that change, we open our minds to the grace of who we are. And we consciously practice our presence as God in every experience of our daily life so that the struggles of surviving pass and we find the blessings. And these blessings are established in every area of our life. Every single area, no matter what, it has to be non negotiable. We have to be so convicted that there is always something to bless, no matter what the circumstances look like. And of course, there's a range of consciousness that literally is this fluent vibrational spectrum through which we move up and down. And we've all experienced ourselves at times at the very bottom of this spectrum in shame, guilt, anger, fear, grief, apathy. And some people choose to continue to live there, and that's their choice. But they have absolutely no clue how blissful and beautiful and empowering these higher stages of consciousness actually feel like. So, not only is it important for us to uplevel our state of consciousness, which determines the quality of our life, our emotional life, our self esteem, our bodies, our overall intention in our life, how we create and express all that creative energy in our life. If we raise our consciousness, our whole life shifts, but so does the collective as well. So we're raising up the collective vibration into something that is more joyful, something more peaceful, and we all want that. So I invite you to continue to look for blessings in every single thing you see, you hear, you do. And, to really allow yourself to turn hurt into wisdom in every experience that you have. Because we can be so entrenched in our belief system that we're missing out on so much more. And it was funny because the other day I was walking along St. Clair and I'd stopped at a light. And because I have really good hearing, I can hear other people's conversations loud and clear. And these two lovely young women were talking, and they were talking about some dis-ease that the doctor had told this woman would come and go for her for the rest of her life. And she was so convicted in that belief. And I wanted to kind of lean in and say, what disease is this? And what I really wanted to say is, you might want to rethink that. Of course, it was none of my business and I would never do that. But it was so interesting to hear these two young women so convicted in the belief that it was unchangeable. And that, of course, is backed by a belief, right? It is unchangeable because you believe it's unchangeable. And there's a causative belief behind whatever disease that was. And I'm thinking, interesting. People are really stuck in their beliefs that way and giving their power away to some external person who who knows. And I mean, I'm not putting down physicians in any way, but it's like, but what if all this could change? Because it's all changing for us. And I'm going to say us in the demographic that most of us are, I'm going to say 50 plus. And how we do aging is going to be very different than our parents did. And that at any moment we can shift our paradigm around aging and embrace ourselves as these vital, expansive people who have more healthy days than unhealthy days, more vibrant days than collapsed days, and are contributing in the world. And so it just depends on what you want to believe in. What do you want to believe in? Because within each one of us is the power to rise above that framework, transcend that framework of beliefs, and create some other belief system that is filled with health and vitality, expansiveness, and creativity. So the quantum principle suggests that the world around us, the world that we see, is a living mirror based on our beliefs. The quantum fabric that reflects the emotions that live within us. And more specifically, the patterns of health in our bodies, the support of our families, communities, and tend to mirror our deepest beliefs. The peace in the world tends to mirror our deepest beliefs. And I keep saying, I've said all month long, if we're warring with ourselves, no wonder we're seeing war in the world. So, life affirming emotions such as gratitude, compassion, love, joy, peace, and bliss are now documented as being triggers. So they light up and turn on our cells for life promoting conditions. Let me ask you something. Do you believe that? Because the documentation around how these feel good hormones enhance our immune response, they lower blood pressure. And as we feel better, we heal in miraculous ways. That's how miracles happen. So, just for a moment, think of how many people are living in anger, vengeance, righteousness, and jealousy that are all life denying emotions. Think about that. They're life denying emotions. We want to be tapping into finding those blessings, living in gratitude, joy, and peace, so that we are living in a life affirming world. One of the keys to expand and raise our levels of consciousness and transmute our lower vibrational energies, and we all go there, it's just how long are you staying there, is through blessing, is through prayer, is through saying, I choose not to live that way any longer, and I'm choosing to live from a place of gratitude and joy. And as we up level our emotional states, well, we will be living those next 30 or 40 years in health and vibrancy. And I would take that any day over being sick and feeling ill all the time. So, Dr. Hawkins recorded in his book, Power versus Force, millions of calibrations about the ways the various levels of human consciousness express themselves. And so the scale moves from 1 to 1,000 in a logarithmic progression, and all the levels below 200, which are shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, when we're attached to something, anger, and pride, are destructive and life destroying, both individually and collectively. In contrast, all the levels above 200 are constructive expressions of power, starting with courage, and then neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, and then joy, peace, and ultimately bliss or enlightenment. But it's so interesting that the decisive level of 200 is courage, and is the one that supplies the capacity and the capability for us to move into action. And what's really interesting about that is that at HeartMath, when they were talking about having first responders connect to emotions, which they're like, what feelings? But they could all connect to courage and then move it into something else like gratitude, empathy, compassion, and then move into love, forgiveness. So each state of consciousness rarely is manifested as a pure state within us, because we can operate on these different levels of consciousness in any given area of our life. So, with relationships, we might be really good at operating at love and peace, but maybe not so well in our workplace where we're in anger and frustration and resentment. So the individual in our individual overall level of consciousness is the sum total effect of all these various levels of consciousness. So you want to pay attention to what you're feeling in these different areas of your life, with your body, with your health and well-being, with your work, with your finances and abundance. What is the consciousness that you're bringing to each one, the feeling states, and do you want to up level? Do you want to up level from fear of your finances to one of acceptance, and then reason, and then love and joy and peace? It's all doable. It's all doable, because it's really important to remember that the numbers from 0 to 1,000 don't represent a linear direction, but a logarithmic progression. So, what that means is, if you are at the level of 300 acceptance, it's not twice as strong as the level of anger at 150. It is 300 to the 10th power, which makes it 559 and a gazillion zeros after that. So even just rising up leveling your feeling state a few points represents a major advance in consciousness. So we can not only up level our consciousness from love only, we can go into a consciousness of peace, joy, bliss in an instant by blessing what is, blessing what is, and finding the beauty in every experience. As Khalil Gibran says, beauty is eternity gazing at itself in a mirror. But you are eternity. You are the mirror. So when you look in the mirror today, see all that beauty within you, bless it. See all the beauty around you. There's even beauty, oh, so much beauty in the snow falling today. So much peace. There's beauty all around us. And as we bless it, we are up leveling our consciousness into a greater state of being. And that affects us physically, emotionally, and mentally. And that's how we get to live our next 30 or 40 years in a place of vibrancy. And I'm going for the vibrancy because I don't like not feeling well. I don't like not creating. I love creating more and more and more. And that's what we're here to do because we learn so much, we gain so much, and then we get to give back so much to others. So, up level your own consciousness today, tomorrow, and the day after that. Have a great time doing it. I love you. Namaste. And thank you for joining in today. Thank you for joining in the archives if you are watching later on in the week. And couple of things to bring up. One is our giving affirmation, which is, and we can say all this together, I live in a universe of abundance. So why wouldn't you want to up level? Okay, I'll stop. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give to my spiritual center, I recognize I am the flow of abundance I share with all life. As I give, I receive. And yes, this month's tithe is going to the Happily Ever Esther Animal Farm because we need to support our beautiful furry friends. And next month, there will be a tithe to an organization, the fundraising team. I said fundraising uh, team. They are choosing an organization. There'll be an event, and 10% of our tithe will go to an organization that supports the people of Ukraine. And so, with that, other um, announcements. You can join us for class at 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. You can join us for Spirit Breath at 8 a.m. Monday to Friday on Zoom, and the Zoom link is on our website. You can also join us for the Sacred Prayer Circle, which is Wednesday at 6 p.m. And you can also sign up for CPR. I'm signed up. I'm doing this, and I'm going to be in Malta for 8 days of this. So that'll be interesting tuning into CPR from Malta. I have to figure out the time difference. But CPR, core prosperity uh, relief, it's really up leveling your prosperity consciousness. And it's a great thing to do. And it's with Dr. James Mellon. And you can go to drjamesmellon.org to sign up. And with that, I'm also going to say that Hester is available after the service for treatment, for affirmative prayer. She'll up level your consciousness. That woman sure knows how to pray. 647-760-1968. And give Hester a call, and she's happy to pray with you today. I'm going to bring Aiden back for our closing song. Thank you, Aiden, for joining us. Thank you, Hester, for all your beautiful words of wisdom. And Aiden, take it away.
Thank you, Helen. always do, till the blue skies go and drag those clouds away. So will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them I won't be long, and they'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies go and drag those clouds away. So will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them I won't be long, and they'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Hester. Thank you,
Thank you.
Aiden. Have a beautiful Sunday, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.